Welcome everyone to Dead Talk Live. I'm your host Viz from Walking Dead Now. Want to welcome all of our viewers tonight. As always, if you want more information about our show, please visit our website right up there at deadtalklive.com. And as always, please visit our YouTube channel, which is called Walking Dead Now, and please subscribe if you enjoy our content. If you're there right now, please go ahead and hit the good old thumbs up button. Want to welcome all of our viewers tonight. We have Yosep with us on YouTube. Yosep is with us on YouTube. I'm a white boy. Andrew is joining us. Saz is going to be handling the text chats tonight. Marie and Andrew are also going to be moderating. And of course, I'll be talking to you guys live on the air. Tariq is with us. Bree is joining us on Facebook. Rick Grimes is with us on YouTube as well. Justin... Burnt Eggies, I love that name. Jennifer and John Wesley are with us on Facebook as well. Navaneeth is with us on Facebook. Adverian is with us on YouTube as well. I'm getting all tongue-tied today, guys. Switching over to the Instagram side, lots of people. I'm just going to quickly scroll through, say hello to some of you guys. Monel, Lorraine is with us, Tatagon, Sebastian, Matt, KMO is joining us, Grandpa. Marko is also with us tonight. Thanos is joining us. Travel is giving us a big old thumbs up. Walden is joining us. CC Wheezy is joining us. Welcome, CC. Kylie, Nikki Decca, hello, back to you. She's saying, hey, Viz. Franchise is joining us. Juana is also with us. So, hey, Summer is with us on YouTube as well. Before we get started tonight, I was intending to show this picture to you guys yesterday, but I never got around to it. It's a hysterical picture. I don't know how many of you guys are familiar with the Addams Family. If you're not, then you're probably not going to get this reference, but let me go ahead and show it to you. I love this picture. I think it's hysterical, okay? We have Daryl as Gomez, Carol as Morticia, and then Alpha as Uncle Fester. Now, they did some playing with Alpha / Uncle Fester, and they sort of merged them into one face. I think that's what makes this picture just absolutely hysterical, because that's not Samantha Morton and it's not Uncle Fester. It's a combination of both. I looked at it for a while and I'm like, what did they do? You know? Anyway, it's an amazing job. I see you guys are laughing at this. I think it's hysterical. Amazing Photoshop work on how they blended Norman Reedus and Melissa McBride's faces into the bodies. Just a fantastic Photoshop work here. You could tell they put a lot of work into this. And there is a name on the picture. It says, welcome to Misa. So if that is who created this picture, hats off to you. Now, on a more serious note, on a more darker, kick-ass picture note, Marko also sent this to me today as well. So check this out. This is badass, okay? We've got Daryl, Alpha's in the background, and Ryan Hurst, Beta, without his Beta makeup mask on. Excellent picture. And this is by at lib_. I don't know which platform, but this picture was created by lib_. And Andrew says, wow, that looks amazing. Justin's like, oh my God. I love this picture. This is an amazing picture. Juana on Instagram says, I love it. Welcome to Muhammad, who's joining us as well. So, Saz loves the picture as well. Burnt Eggies writes, cool, as does Tariq. Yeah, I just love this picture, and there's so much detail into it. I don't know if you guys can notice the hands coming up from the ground over, wrapping around the tree. And then, of course, the three faces. Very dark, very nice picture. Awesome. Awesome attention to detail right there. So, anyway, now that we got that out of the way, I really wanted to share that with you guys. Crazy is with us on Instagram, giving us a smiley love face, as is Travel and Savannah, giving a smiley love face. MEH is giving us a heart on Instagram. Justin on YouTube writes, "That's cool. It's amazing." Jennifer and John Wesley on Facebook write, "OMG, it's awesome." It is. It's an awesome picture. So, moving on. Tom Payne, Jesus, wants a spin-off to happen of Jesus on The Walking Dead. I think that would be amazing. The Walking Dead star Tom Payne has revealed that he wants a Jesus spin-off, and quite frankly, someone needs to make it happen. We were first introduced to his character in Season 6. However, he was quickly taken away from us when the Whisperers were introduced, despite becoming a fan favorite. Even though he was killed off, it seems the 37-year-old would be keen to return to the franchise as long as he can keep his long hair. I think, like Jesus' origin story would be cool, man, but I had to grow this hair, and yeah, I loved it, he recently told The Express. The actor added, "So I don't think I wouldn't like to do it again if I had to wear fake extensions and a fake beard again. I could grow the beard, but the hair took 3 years by the time I left, so yeah, I would not want it to go fake again." He then suggested Jesus could have started the apocalypse with short hair, which is something we can get on board with. Tom is not only the former Walking Dead star to express an interest in heading back, as David Morrissey, who played the governor, told Metro as well that he too would like an origin story done about the governor. Now that would be fascinating as well. A Jesus backstory would be fascinating. We've all discussed this before. Negan, everything. The only word and character that we've heard from like Scott Gimple as far as not a pre-apocalypse story, but as the apocalypse was breaking out story, is about Glenn. They really are trying to work and bring back Stephen Yen, and that would be awesome as well. It would not be Glenn before the apocalypse. It was what was going on with Glenn as the apocalypse was coming into the world, basically. As the world was falling apart, what was Glenn doing? How did he survive? How he met up with the group? And how he ended up on that rooftop where we first met him, where he saves Rick's ass from the tank. That's the only official word that we have gotten from the higher-ups at The Walking Dead as any kind of a backstory, spin-off, / maybe one of these 6 episodes that we're getting in early 2021. So we'll just have to wait and see. Let's see, just going through everyone. Durft Wick is joining us on YouTube. Welcome. Shireen is with us, giving us a heart on Instagram. People are asking about the next episode. Thank you guys for answering. Tatagon76 is giving us a heart. Kyle is joining us on Instagram as well. So Stenningull is also with us and waving. Welcome, Stenningull. Cover art for The Walking Dead Deluxe number 2 and number 3 comic books have been revealed. In October, new and old fans of the Walking Dead comic series will get to experience the series in a special way. Each month, a newly, fully colored deluxe run will be released 2 issues at a time. November will be a special time as The Walking Dead number 2 and number 3 are released, and Skybound has given us a special look into the art on the covers. The artwork teased by Skybound shows the classic covers for number 2 and number 3 with some very key differences. Those differences include a slightly tweaked logo with the addition of the word deluxe, the addition of the Skybound logo, a sleeker looking image logo, and the name of the new colorist, Dave McCaig. So we have pictures. Let me show you guys the covers of 2 and 3. Here is the cover of The Walking Dead issue number 2. Again, guys, these are coming out in November. So this is the cover for number 2. And here is the cover for number 3. So there you go. Very nice work. Be interesting to see these things in color. Durft Wick writes, that is so cool. Justin on YouTube writes, I prefer Daryl with long hair. So do I. So do I. I definitely prefer Daryl with long hair. He was great with short hair as well. It's just that we've just gotten so used to him with longer hair right now. Travel Dash writes, November, it is finally. Also giving us a love heart. Chris has given us a thumbs up on Instagram. Burnt Eggies on YouTube writes, whoa, amazing. I'm glad you guys like it. Now, moving on to some Fear news. Not really new stuff. We kind of covered this before. Jenna Elfman, who plays June on Fear the Walking Dead, has been, doing a lot of interviews and really hyping up this upcoming 6th season of Fear the Walking Dead. In this article where she, uses the term messed up stuff. So what he goes on to say is, okay, based on the teasers we've seen from AMC's Fear the Walking Dead Season 6, it doesn't look like Morgan's going to meet his demise. We're guessing the red eyes are from allergies. I said that. That was my line several weeks ago. But not several weeks ago, but about a week ago when we saw the poster. But that doesn't mean the show isn't planning on keeping its promise of a much darker season, as we've already seen from the first trailer and teasers. But just in case you're still not convinced, let's leave it to Jenna Elfman, June, who was also a guest on Skybound's Talk Dead to Me podcast with host Johnny Odell. In a clip, Elfman gives viewers a much better sense of just how dark this season will be, as Virginia places our heroes in situations that will make them mentally and physically take them to their breaking points. There's some messed up stuff going on, and it affects each person in a way that taps into their vulnerabilities, and they change. People will be changing this season. So, just reiterating, wanna welcome Angela Kirgeorgis is with us on Instagram. How you doing, Angela? I'm so grateful you can join us tonight. So, moving on to some different stuff, guys. It's possible that The Walking Dead Season 10 finale will directly set us up for The Walking Dead World Beyond. The new spin-off series, the upcoming season finale, and the World Beyond series premiere were originally set to air on the same night back in April. But due to production delays caused by the coronavirus, they've all been pushed all the way back to October 4th, but they're still keeping it back to back, which is sort of kind of like a big hint to what this article is trying to say, that we need to see World Beyond and the finale together, as the finale of The Walking Dead is sort of going to lead into World Beyond in one way, shape, or form or another. I don't know exactly how. But anyway, it goes on to say World Beyond is the third series in the Walking Dead universe, and it jumps to 10 years after the zombie apocalypse has started. That puts it at the same time period as the flagship series. That is not accurate. They keep a lot of people, a lot of different articles keep repeating that. They keep saying that The Walking Dead is 10 years into the apocalypse. That is not accurate. Depending on which reference you guys are using for timelines, I have it at 17 to 20 years into the apocalypse. The Walking Dead, the original Walking Dead. That's where they are right now. Just using different reference points. Now, depending on which reference point you use, you will get contradictory timelines. But it is well beyond 10 years into the apocalypse on The Walking Dead. And what they just said here, that World Beyond starts at 10 years after the apocalypse, and that's where The Walking Dead is right now, that is not accurate. That's just not accurate. But it'll instead be centered a whole new cast of characters. This show will focus on a group of teenagers struggling to survive in a world filled with zombies. World Beyond has been described as a coming-of-age story, as the events that take place in the upcoming AMC series will shape these teenagers' future. Their problems are further complicated by the presence of the powerful and mysterious organization known as the CRM, the Civic Republic Military, which has been featured sparingly in the other two Walking Dead shows. CRM consists of 3 different communities, with the one in Nebraska being the setting for World Beyond. I thought it was Omaha, but I guess I was wrong. Well, no, Omaha is in Nebraska. What am I talking about? Had a brain fart there for a second. So that's the one where the World Beyond is going to be centered on the CRM in Nebraska. There's another one either in Oklahoma or in Texas. And it's rumored that the third one, the one that took Rick Grimes away, is located in New York somewhere. So anyways, CC Weezy's giving us a heart. Let's see, AMX is also with us. How you doing, AMX? AMX writes, she's happy that the chats aren't exploding today. Eric Tuber GE has joined us on YouTube saying, sorry I'm late. No, we're glad to have you. Guillermo is joining us on Facebook. Welcome, Guillermo. Loretta is also with us on Facebook. Ria is also with us on Facebook. Welcome to all you guys. And today's topic, guys, we are going to be talking about Negan's Savior's Lieutenants. We have a lot of material to go over, and I encourage you guys to interact with our discussion today. We're going to be breaking down all of his lieutenants, and we're going to make this into a 2-parter. So today is going to be part 1. We are going to cover 4 of his lieutenants, and tomorrow we're going to finish it off with the final 4. So we're going to be talking about 8 of them. 8 Savior lieutenants that worked, of course, for Negan. And it should be pretty interesting. And let me just bring that up. And let's see, where do we start? So we have, like I said, we have 8 of them. We're going to talk about all of these lieutenants in detail. And like I said, it's going to be stretched over 2 days. So let's start with the fan favorite, or the most notorious of all his lieutenants. And that is, of course, Simon. Okay, in case you guys forgot what Simon looks like, here he is. All right, Stephen Ogg, who played Simon wonderfully, masterfully, true psychopath. Okay, so that's going to be our first lieutenant that we're going to discuss today. And let me go back to my notes. So, who doesn't love to hate Simon? I mean, the guy is, like I said, he is a psychopath. Deep down inside, we know he does not like being subservient to Negan, even though he is. I think it's fair to say that Simon ranks pretty high up on the list of savior lieutenants that we all love to hate, right? He is also Negan's top lieutenant. He is Negan's right-hand man. Cassandra on YouTube writes, interesting topic today, Viz. Thank you, Cassandra. Thank you to Kat. Kat is our head writer, and she's been coming up with these amazing topics and talking points. So thank you so much, Kat. Let's see what else is being said in the chats. Christian has a question. What if The Walking Dead is real? It is impossible. It can't be real. Dead people don't reanimate. It's fiction. Complete fiction. So, sorry. Can't answer that question because it's completely impossible. Lindsay Sparks on Facebook writes, Steven, oh my God, what an amazing actor as Simon. EMIJ on YouTube writes, Simon with that mustache. It's a very badass guy that time. Yeah, you could tell he grew that mustache specifically just for the role, because as soon as his role was done, he shaved that thing right off. He wanted that thing gone. But it definitely fit his character. Let's see what's going on Instagram. Marie LC is with us saying hello. Hello to you too. Big Daddy is with us saying I'm a fan. Welcome, Big Daddy. CC writes, Simon was a psychopath. Marie LC is a fan from the Philippines, as is Big Daddy. Welcome, Maria LC and Big Daddy. So, moving on with Simon. He doesn't have a conscience when it comes to killing anyone. From men to women and children included. In fact, he seems to enjoy doing it. He enjoys killing people. We know he went against Negan's orders to murder all the men at Oceanside, and not just the adults either. He killed kids there as well. Then there was the slaughter of Jadis's people. The garbage people, the heapsters, as they like to call themselves. Whatever. Now, that was him going against Negan's direct orders. He was only meant to scare them and kill one person and set an example, but he massacres them. That is Negan's rule. You kill one person. If you come into a contact with a new group, you kill one person to let them know that you're serious and you're willing to do it, because Negan saw people as a resource. He was smart. Simon didn't give a shit. Negan saw human beings, living human beings, as a resource that could be used and harvested for his better good. You know? He would have killed Jadis too, but she escaped it. She pretended to be dead and escaped that massacre. And how could we forget when he shoots and kills poor old Tommy L. Tommy L was played by our awesome guest who we had on recently, Sabrina Gennarino. Anyway, Simon seems to be the one lieutenant that Negan really had to keep an eye on. He was disloyal and he was a loose cannon. And it surprised me, knowing that how smart Negan is, that he gave Simon as much rope as he did. Okay, I'm pretty sure he picked him as his right-hand man, not because he trusted him the most, but he knew he was the most ruthless out of all of the other lieutenants. But it just shocks me the amount of trust he gave this person, how much leeway he let him have to handle things. And for the majority, I guess Negan did not really care too much. But then when he started defying Negan's orders, that's when Negan's like, enough of this. Stenningull writes, Simon was absolutely crazy. Jose doesn't speak English. He's from Brazil. Well, thank you for stopping in and watching our broadcast, Jose. T4 is giving us a smiley love face, as is Princess Ceres is giving us a smiley love face on Instagram as well. Teresa is with us on Facebook from South Mississippi. Welcome, Teresa. Lindsay on Facebook writes, that scene where Simon killed the garbage people was insane, but his performance was fantastic. It was. CTR is also with us on YouTube. Now, we all know that he was plotting to take over from Negan when Rick decided to try to take out Negan when they were in that caravan, and Rick ran into him and he chased him, and they found Simon and Dwight find Negan's car turned upside down with blood in there, but Negan was nowhere to be found. That's when Simon stepped up to Dwight and basically told Dwight he might be dead. He's more than likely dead. He wanted Dwight to join him. And Dwight used it to his advantage brilliantly to get rid of Simon. Anyway, when Negan found out what was going on, well, that was the end of Simon. Okay? But before it was the end of Simon, you got to give credit to Negan, because he told him, if you want to be the man, you got to beat the man. And he gave Simon a fighting chance to become the leader of the Saviors. Fair. No, he didn't set it up. He didn't rig the fight or anything. In fact, if you guys remember, it was Simon who puts in that first cheap shot to get the fight started between him and Negan. And one of our earlier guests on our show, Matt Villard, who played a background savior, he was there and he described that fight scene in detail to us, and how it took 2 days to film. There was a whole bunch of stuff that went into shooting that scene, that fight scene between Negan and Simon. There were stuntmen, there were choreographers. They had to film everything twice to get all the different camera angles right. It was a big affair, and it took 2 full days to film just that fight scene between Simon and Negan. Let's see. The Walker is with us on Instagram. Abdel is giving us a smiley love face. So let's see. Moving on. Next on the list, you gotta have Dwight. Okay? Let me, guys, show you Dwight. Not that any of us forgot what Dwight looks like. But here we go. The infamous Dwight, who is currently now on Fear the Walking Dead, trying to redeem himself for all the bad stuff that he's done in his past. And as I've mentioned before, he does get to find his wife, Sherry. Sherry is coming to Fear the Walking Dead this season. She's going to be the 3rd cast member to cross over from The Walking Dead into Fear the Walking Dead. So, let's talk about Dwight. There's a lot to talk about Dwight. Negan called him Dwighty Boy. I think he gets the most one-on-one screen time with Negan out of all of Negan's lieutenants. In the beginning, after the whole running off with Sherry and her sister deal, Dwight made us all think he was the most loyal of all of Negan's lieutenants. But despite the outward display of loyalty that he shows, deep down inside, he hated Negan. When he met Daryl in the woods with Sherry and his sister-in-law, they were escaping. Okay, they were trying to get away from Negan. And Daryl trusted them, which was very rare for Daryl to do when he just meets someone for the first time. He ends up helping them, and they just had a change of heart. They're like, this isn't going to work. Why are we running? We need to go back. And that was a mistake. We saw the punishment, and we're going to get to more of that here in a second, that Negan drops on both Sherry and Dwight. But despite his outward display of loyalty that he shows, like I said, deep down he hated Negan. He hated him for what he put him and Sherry through, and he was waiting for the right opportunity to take Negan down. The problem with Dwight was that he took out a lot of his anger on Negan's victims. He did a lot of bad things just to prove that there was no doubt where his loyalties laid. And this messed things up for Sherry. It also messed him up as well. Sherry could not deal with it anymore. I think she could have grinned and bared being Negan's wife, but what she saw Dwight turning into to please Negan, that is what I think was the last straw for Sherry, and she ended up helping Daryl escape, and she was gone. And we haven't seen her since. Luckily, we are going to see her again, though. I liked Sherry. Sherry was a character that deserved to be explored a lot more, and hopefully we're going to get that on this season of Fear the Walking Dead. Anyway, despite, he did have a lot of anger, a lot of hate and despair. He was very loyal to Negan. He wanted to be very loyal to Negan. He really did, but he wasn't. He really tried to be the person that Negan wanted him to be. Negan thought he broke him when he burned half his face off, but in the end, Dwight is the one person who betrayed Negan the most. And there are a lot of people on that list. Eugene betrayed Negan, Dwight betrayed Negan, Simon betrayed Negan. So, anyway, so I've got a question for you guys. Do you think he was loyal to the Saviors? If given the chance to take over from Negan, would he have made a good leader of the Saviors? Would he have completely turned the Saviors around from being these vicious killers who extorted everyone for their own survival in exchange for protection, into something a lot better? You know what I'm saying? So let me know what you guys think. Let's see, looking at the chats here. Mers is with us on Facebook. Kat is with us saying, I think Daryl finding the insulin made him feel sorry for Tina, Sherry, and Dwight. Cassandra writes, agreed, Viz. Sherry has a lot of potential with her story trajectory. Kat also goes on to write, I think Dwight also wanted to be like Daryl. I do. I agree with that. Kat also goes on to say, I think Dwight could have made a good leader, but he had things to settle with Sherry. And that, if you guys remember, when after the Savior War, when Daryl took Dwight into the truck, Dwight thought he was being led out into the woods so Daryl can kill him, which he was ready to die. He knows all the mistakes he made, and he was willing to die. He was willing to let Daryl kill him. But Daryl spares him. He gives him the keys to the truck, and he tells him, go find her and start to make things right. And that's what he's been trying to do ever since. Lindsay on Facebook writes, Dwight did a ton of bad things, but I think he wanted to change. He did. He did want to change. Absolutely. Cece on Instagram writes, Dwighty boy, are we starting to see things different? I love that scene. One of my favorite scenes is when Negan and Dwight are talking at the sanctuary outside in the hallways, and Negan turns to Dwight and says, are you making any progress in breaking Daryl, or is Daryl breaking you? You guys remember that line? I love that line. Mancilla is with us from Argentina. Isizi is with us from Mexico. NDH is giving us a thumbs up on Instagram. Welcome, guys. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So, anyhow, like I said, we're going to be discussing some of these characters in more detail in future episodes. So we're going to move on to the next Savior Lieutenant on the list, and that is Arat. I like the Arat. Let me guys show you Arat. Here she is. She tried to change. Oceanside wasn't having it. To sum it up for Arat, they were not having it. So let's talk about Arat, guys, and feel free to share your opinions about her as well. She was mean as a savior, no doubt about it. She was bloodthirsty and she was mean. When you all saw how easily she killed Olivia, what was the first thing that went through your minds when you thought of Arat? That's the one scene where we really, I think the first time we got to find out what her name was. And it's the first major action she took on The Walking Dead. Negan turns to her and says, kill someone. And without any hesitation, she does a 180 and puts a bullet in Olivia's head. Dead. That's our introduction to Arat. You know? And that happened after Rosita tried to take Negan out with the one bullet that Eugene made for her. And Negan's luck, Rosita shot Lucille instead. She shot the baseball bat. And that led to Eugene being kidnapped by Negan. And if you follow the chain of events, guys, it's like if Negan never took Eugene, if Eugene never sabotaged the ammunition that ended up winning the war for the communities, if that never happened, the whole war could have just been completely different. Yeah, the communities, Rick, could have still won, but you could also make a point that Negan could have won as well. So, more on Arat. Later on, after the Savior War ended, we do find out that Arat killed Cindy's kid brother in cold blood during an attack on Oceanside, which was led by Simon. Now, going back to Simon, Negan mentions in one particular scene when Negan and Simon are alone together in a room on how Negan came across Simon. And it was after he did that massacre on Oceanside. And what I got from that conversation between Negan and Simon is at the time, Simon was not working for Negan. Negan, we don't know how he stumbled across him. Negan may have witnessed the massacre, may have come in towards the end of it or whatever, but Negan knew that Simon massacred the men of Oceanside. Probably what led him to taking him on as his lieutenant, because this is someone that can instill fear, and fear is what Negan wanted. That's how he ruled. He ruled by fear. So going back to Arat, she is someone who does not hesitate to take a direct order. She was a soldier. She took pride in what she did and what she stood for, which was the Saviors. Despite all her non-redeeming qualities, was Arat loyal to Negan? I think she was. Feel free to share your opinion. There was no indication that Arat was second-guessing Negan in any way, shape, or form. She was loyal to him. It's just that when the Saviors lost the war, and Laura was the first one to surrender, who we're going to get to next, by the way, she was going to stay with whoever won that war. And just because the Saviors lost, she tried to fit in with the communities. And to give the character credit, she was really trying to change. We didn't see her do any kind of bad stuff to hurt the communities once she joined them, to sabotage them. She was trying to be loyal to Rick. Okay? She was trying to be loyal to the communities. But there are just some things that you do in your past that cannot be forgotten or forgiven. And Cindy cannot forgive the fact that a rot killed her little brother. And she did it in a very, very nasty way as well. Kat writes she helped disarm Simon. That is true. I forgot about that. She did help disarm Simon. Let's see what's going on Instagram. Janie Joe writes she's bad. Yep, I think she is bad. She was bad. She was whatever Negan wanted her to be. And when she was with Negan, Negan wanted her to be a badass, and that's what she was. Janie also writes she did try to change. She did. I think she gave it a real legitimate chance, a real effort to try and change. And Janie Joe reminds us of the quote that Arat said just before she killed Cindy's brother. And that quote was, "No exceptions." And if you guys remember, when Cindy had Arat ready to execute her, Daryl and Maggie walk in. That's when Daryl figures out who's been killing off all the Saviors. And Cindy tells Arat to tell them what she said just before she killed her little brother. And Arat was trying to say, I don't remember, I forgot, it was Simon. Simon would have killed me if I didn't do it. Finally, she says it. She says that she said no exceptions. And Maggie and Daryl just turned and walked away. And they let Cindy execute her. And that was the end of Arat. Now, next on the list, Laura. I think Laura and Dwight are by far our two favorite lieutenants that survived beyond the war the most. She did pass away. Beta killed her by slamming her into the cell, the jail cell, which is very sad. But she did go out fighting. So Laura, aka Barcode, I like to call her Barcode. I like that name. But let me show you guys Laura. Here she is. So if you guys don't know who we're talking about, there's Barcode. And you can tell by the tattoo on her neck why she has the nickname Barcode. So that's Laura. She became a very trusted member of Alexandria. You can't argue that she was very loyal to Negan until the end of the Savior reign. Unlike Arat, Simon, and even Dwight, I can't remember a time where Laura executes anybody for Negan. At least not in a battle situation. If anybody remembers differently, please fill me in. But I can't remember a single time. Anyway, Laura seems more of the administrative kind of a soldier. She was the one who took the time to show Eugene around, made him feel at ease, and even took his meal orders. And as we discussed, I believe 2 nights ago, we found out that there was a deleted scene where Laura and Eugene actually had sex. And I mentioned when I said this that I would have loved to see that scene. In a very serious season 8 with the war going on, it was filmed as sort of comic relief in a way, There was no feelings between Eugene and Laura or anything like that. They shot the scene. It was ready to be aired, but they cut it. And the reason they gave for cutting that scene is that it was too distracting. I personally would have liked to have seen it. And you can't find it anywhere. One thing about The Walking Dead, guys, if you guys get the digital release or any DVDs or Blu-rays of The Walking Dead, there's not a lot of deleted scenes that they make available. As opposed to some other shows that are full of bonus extras with deleted scenes and bloopers and so on. You're not going to find any of that with The Walking Dead. CC on Instagram writes, remember Laura used to call Eugene haircut? Yes. Yes, she did. Sussus is with us on Instagram and waving. Hello. Thank you for joining us. Mr. Avara is giving us a smiley love face. Let's see. Janie on Instagram writes, I think Rick should chose her for leading the sanctuary. I agree. He made a mistake in picking Daryl. Daryl hated it. Why would you put Daryl back in the place that he was held captive? That makes no sense to me. In the list of Rick's bad decisions, that's on there. If he really wanted the sanctuary to become a part of the community, it would have gave it a much better chance if he would have just kept Daryl out of it. Okay, but instead he put Daryl in charge of the sanctuary, and we mentioned this a while ago as well, and we all agreed that Laura would have been a much better fit to control the sanctuary after the Savior War ended. But on the flip side to that is the fact that we didn't realize how trustworthy and committed Laura became until Rick disappeared. And in that 6-year time jump, she became a very trusted confidant to Michonne. Michonne trusted her without any hesitation. So she really earned her way into the communities. And looking back with hindsight in our favor, we can look back and say, yeah, you know what? Rick should have put Laura in charge of the sanctuary instead of Daryl. That was just a flat-out bad decision. Janie's giving us a smiley face on that one. Summer writes, how Eugene get it before Daryl? Lindsay Sparks writes, I liked Laura. Her death was very sad. It shows you how brutal and strong Beta is. He just threw her across enough to where when she slammed into the jail cell, it like broke her neck and killed her. Kat writes, she was pretty, and I could have seen her in a relationship given the chance. I could as well. Kat also writes, I was disappointed with the lack of deleted scenes and bloopers. It's just something that I guess The Walking Dead doesn't do. For one reason or another, you know, you're just not going to find any kind of bloopers, deleted scenes, or any of that stuff. So whatever stuff ends up on the editing room floor, it's never to be seen again. That's kind of sad. Maybe one day after the original show does end, years down the line, we're going to get to see a few of these deleted scenes and bloopers. I would love to see bloopers. I would love to see blooper scenes like between Andrew Lincoln and Norman Reedus, like when they're having a serious conversation and somebody screws up a line and they break out into laughter. Same thing for Melissa McBride and Norman Reedus again. I think that would be hysterical. Saz writes, Lindsay said the tattoo represents her boyfriend before the apocalypse, and he passed away several years ago, so it reminds her of loss and humanity. Forgot about that, Saz. That's awesome. Kat writes, agreed, Viz. Should have been Laura in charge of the Saviors. Kat also goes on to say Saviors would have had more respect for Laura than anybody else. And that was the point. That's why it would have been a much better decision to put her there. But Daryl, everyone who was at the sanctuary, Daryl was, part of the enemy that just beat you. So it didn't go over too well. And it got to Daryl. It really screwed with his head. He was really frustrated trying to, what's the best word here? He was just trying to do what Rick asked him to do. He held back his opinion and tried to live up to it, but it just did not work out. Let's see. Anything on Instagram? See, you guys are chatting. Mommy Plus is with us and waving at us on Instagram. Diario says, hi, you are the best. Thank you, Diario. Harish is with us on Instagram, giving us a thumbs up. Keiko is with us from Buenos Aires, Argentina. Welcome, Keiko. EMIJ writes, yes, Viz, it will be an enlightening day to see some bloopers. Let's see. Kat writes, Daryl tried to. He really did try to do what Rick wanted him to do. He gave it his all. It was just asking too much. And Rick didn't realize it. Rick was blinded by Carl's wishes. And he was just blinded by that and didn't realize that putting Daryl back at the sanctuary was just a bad idea. Daryl tried to understand Rick's choices, Kat. That's where a lot of the confusion and mistrust that started to develop. Not mistrust, but between Daryl and Rick and Maggie and Rick. Maggie was just pissed that Rick spared Negan. I mean, she was just pissed. Lindsay Sparks writes, love your t-shirt, Viz. Thank you. I love this too. It's red and it blends in with my background because my CGI screen is red as well. So anyway, let's finish off the last few notes we have on Laura. Like we said, she had the makings of a future leader because she was smart. She thought things through. She wasn't emotional. And she was a badass, loyal lieutenant. Laura was loyal to Negan, and then later on she was loyal to Michonne. She became a member of the Leadership Council of Alexandria. Unfortunately, she met her end at the hands of Beta that we just discussed. Okay, and that's the end of Laura. And if you remember, guys, Laura is the one that ratted out Dwight to Negan. Dwight shot all those saviors on the attack on Alexandria when they tried to escape. And Dwight shot all the saviors so the community, Daryl and company, can escape. That's when Laura caught on to what he was doing. Dwight tried to take out Laura, but he ends up shooting her in the arm, and she runs away. And then we don't see Laura again for several episodes. And it's Negan who was let go by Jadis, and he's driving back to the sanctuary where he runs into Laura, and as Negan said in that scene, she looked like shit. And he gives her a ride back, and that's when Laura rats out Dwight as working for the communities and Rick. He's double-crossing Negan. And then, of course, Negan was going to execute Dwight along with everybody else. And that's when, luckily, Eugene stepped up and he messed with the ammunition, and that's the end of the war right there. Kat writes, close call for Laura when Dwight was shooting. She shot Dwight in the arm as well. She did. Joseph is with us on Facebook all the way from the Philippines. Welcome, Joseph. To the Instagram chats, no, Rick is not dead, guys. Rick is very much alive and is coming back in the movies. Hollywood writes, I just read an article about a love scene. Yeah, I just mentioned that. The sex scene between Laura and Eugene, which was cut from the show. Yep, just mentioned that. Let's see. Musio is also with us from Argentina on Instagram. Musio, Carl is dead. So, sorry if I spoiled that for you, but Carl is not coming back. Carl is officially dead. Chandler Riggs has gone on the record recently saying that I don't know how, it would have to be some kind of a hallucination where Chandler Riggs might, in some spin-off or future show up again. I don't really see that happening, though. That's a real stretch right there. We would all love to see Carl back, but obviously you can't do a pre-apocalypse Carl. He was a little kid. So any kind of Carl would have to be some kind of a hallucination. And the actor himself, Chandler Riggs, said he just does not, even though he would love to do it, he does not see that as being any kind of a possible, feasible scenario where the show is currently. So anyway, guys, that was the end of our part 1 of the Savior's Lieutenants, Negan's Lieutenants on The Walking Dead. We have 4 more to discuss tomorrow. So tune in tomorrow. We have 4 more lieutenants to go over. And then Friday, we have our big interview with Michael Satrazemis, the Fear the Walking Dead current co-executive producer, director, Walking Dead director, has been with The Walking Dead since the very beginning. The guy who has seen everybody come, a lot of people go. It's going to be a fascinating conversation. He is going to be our guest in less than 48 hours this Friday. I encourage you guys, you got less than 48 hours. If you have questions for the man who knows it all about The Walking Dead, go over to our website, deadtalklive.com. Scroll all the way to the bottom. We have a submission form. Either, do a video question, where you video yourself asking the question, or send us your text question. But this is going to be a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to talk to a handful of people, one of only a handful of people that have been with The Walking Dead from the very beginning, and it still is extremely active with both shows, The Walking Dead and Fear the Walking Dead. Also, please visit our YouTube channel, which is called Walking Dead Now, and please subscribe if you haven't already done so. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. You guys have been awesome as always. I'll be back on the air tomorrow at 9:30 p.m. as always. Stay safe, take care, and until then, guys, stay walking.